Hello, Alex here. So off the back of the last video I did, a few people have asked me whether I should do some tutorials. So this will be the first attempt at doing a tutorial with these Spanish Scutaries. This is from the free sprue that War Games Illustrated put on their magazine, and you would have seen that I've done some of the other units that came with it. So I thought I'd have a go at this. So at the start of it, then the start of the process, then is I would try and deburr anything, but at this scale, there's not an awful lot, and these figures come very clean, so there's not an awful lot to do there. So it's a simple putting the primer on at the start and then letting that go off, and I kind of prime everything in batches. So I would have primed the entire sprue, unclipped them, deburred anything that I didn't like, and then I would prime using this is my kind of default primer, and I run this through the airbrush. So the airbrush that I use is a Scutarii. It's only a cheap one. It's 45 quid I think I pay for this. GAD 39, and it's a good airbrush, you know. As long as you strip it down and clean it every now and again, it's been very reliable. So this is what I use through here, and this is the stuff that I use, and I usually prime in white. I know there's kind of it's one of those questions whether you should prime in white or grey or black. I know many other miniature painters prime in black, but I just like the white effect that it gives me, and it enables me to use Guilliman's flesh for the flesh parts of the miniatures, and I do like this, you know. That I used this from the start, and I've bought many other flesh colours, and I just don't think it matches up to this. And when you want to try and get a whole army out fairly quickly, I think this is good stuff. And then you can always add stuff, highlights to it afterwards, or beards and things like that I've done in the past. So yeah, I'm not anti that, you know. I've bought all the flesh colors from all the other companies, but I just find that the easiest, and that's kind of basically the only speed paint or contrast paint I tend to use. That's it. That's the only one. But so yeah, so all I've done with these Spanish Scutarii then is to prime them in this in white with the airbrush, and then fill in the faces with the Guilliman's flesh. So the next step then is I will do the cloaks on these, and I'll pick out some different colours along here just to break up the monotony of it. So there'll be some kind of dark reds, faded plums, purples, maybe ivory, and the paints I'm going to be using predominantly will be pro acryls. So big fan of these. After Gary gave me the heads up on these, so I used to use a lot of Vallejo, still do, the game colours, but I'm a big fan of these. Not sure if I like the tops on them because they're a twist top, and they kind of tend to bung up every now and again. So yeah, so you can see that the paint comes out, and then I kind of tend to take it off the top or put it into my wet palette. But yeah, so I'll be predominantly using pro acryls, and the colours I'm going to be using will be the dark ivory, faded plum, burnt red, maybe a warm yellow depending on how I feel, and a dark yellow green. I quite like that one. I do have burnt sienna, may use that, And to highlight, I'll probably use on the red ones this one, Bold Pyrrole Red. And on the dark ivory, I would probably just go and highlight with the Bolt Titanium White. I did think about using turquoise, but I just think it's a bit wacky for the period. So they're the type of colours I'm going to be using for the cloaks. Let's have a look and see how it goes. So I've defaulted back to my Rosemary & Co. I just prefer this brush, so that's what I've been messing about with. So the next cloak colour we're going to do will be, I think we're going to go with burnt red. So we'll put some of that on a few of these now. I'll go with the end one here. Yeah, I reckon yellow's a pain in the arse. So that's yellow. Done. Right, let's do another one then. So let's go with this green, dark yellow green. The final 3 cloaks, I'll use blue black. So that's all the cloak colours put in. So I've made sure that at the bottom of these I followed it through for whatever colour through to the front underneath. Doesn't need too many coats on these. I've just got this one left to do, and we'll move on. So the next step will be to do the shields now. So I've got these ones I did the other day as reference, but I'm going to try and change them up a little bit. And this is where the freehand comes in, so I've got to be a little bit careful now. So, and because all the shields are on a slant, it makes it a little bit more challenging. Put some yellow in the one side on here. So that's the reds. I think I'm going to do no more with the red there. So I'm going to use Vallejo brass on the helmets. this. So these helmets here, these ones, I shall paint those in white. So that's the helmets done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the shield, whatever these bits are. I'm going to do those in brass too. So the next step is to use dark golden brown, and what I'm going to be doing with that is painting in all the sandals, here, and the poles for the spears, and the sheaths for the swords. So I put the you can see that I put all the wood in now, the sandal colours in, and I've painted all the poles for the spears. So the next step will be I'm going to paint in all the little bristles on the helmets now, and I'll do all these in red. The ones that I did previously, I did all those in kind of a plum colour. So these will be red, these will be plum, and these will probably be a blue. So these will be red, these will be blue. So the next step now then is I'm going to put in the spears, tips, swords, and the odd centre of the shields, and I'll be using gunmetal by Game Colour. So now the spear tips and the swords have all been painted with the gunmetal. What I'll be doing now is using some non-oil as a wash, and then just covering all these figures and making sure that these don't pull in any areas, just to give it a bit of contrast and definition. I'm just working my way down the cloaks. Yep. Okay, so now the non-oil is dried on these, what I'm going to do now is just go through some of the highlighting. So what I'm going to do is show you one that I've already completed, but I'll talk you through the process. I'm going to get out some yellow. I'm going to just go back over the shield slightly, starting with a highlighting at the top, maybe some edge highlighting. I shall get the brass out and just highlight the brass ones again at the top, because the sun or the light would be coming from top down. Some of their white helmets here, you can see that I would just touch up with a little bit of white at the tops of these, and the tops of their cloaks, with their cloaks being darker at the base. I'm not going to go into, I wouldn't be highlighting these like I would a 28mm figure. The 28mm figures, you know, they're an awful lot bigger obviously than these, so I would go through the highlighting in a different process than these. I don't think these require them, to be honest. So really just going up little touches of the top, just working my way through some of the whites, the lines here. It would tidy these red lines that I painted freehand, and a little bit, but I'd leave it dirtier at the base of the shields because that's where the dirt would congregate anyway. So on this one, this strip here, obviously I'm going to do these shortly, but this strip I've already highlighted these, and if you can see the tops of their helmets here where I've gone through back with the white, and I've gone through some of the shields with the white, tidied up this shield here. I kind of like the dirty look, so I've kind of left it at the base, and then on the cloaks I haven't highlighted the top of the cloaks yet, but I think I'm going to call that done. Obviously I haven't done the basing yet. That would be stick them on the base as 2 per row, and then using the Geek Gaming, but I can show you that in another video. So unfortunately I've been doing this video over the last 3 days, and you could probably tell from my voice that I've managed to catch a cold somehow, so I've got a throat from hell. So I'm sucking lozenges like you wouldn't believe. So yeah, I'm going to call the video done there. So if you got any questions or any observations, criticisms, I don't mind, stick them in the comments. Thanks for watching the video. This is my very first tutorial. I hope to get better at them, and like I say, my mate Gary from Ireland, he's keen for me to do something along the Napoleonic lines. I've ordered some French grenadiers, so I shall be looking at doing something like that. But in the meantime, today the Hannibal set has arrived, and there's a ton of figures. You wouldn't believe the size of the box and the weight of it. So I'm going to be fairly busy with ensuring that I get those figures out to Gary in America as soon as possible, but at a decent quality. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like I say, this is my first tutorial. I feel a little bit cheeky about doing it, having only been in the hobby 18 months. But a few people have asked me, so I thought I'll give it a go. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.